What is up, guys? Norse Digital Assets coming at you with another video. In this video, we're going to take a look at my main drawing. We're going to do a recap of what I think the market's doing and where the market is heading next. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin drawing and do a quick review. Now, what I believe is going on, like I've shown for a while, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the last bull run. The market moves in 3s and 5s. Then you get the bear market. Then you start that process all over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This wave 4 here has been very confusing, very dragged out. Come a lot lower than I thought it was going to. Lost a lot of support that I didn't think it would. But it is what it is. At any rate, the pattern is not invalidated. And we're going to zoom in and take a look at this current cycle here, and I'll show you why. And we've talked about this. So, again, to throw this pattern out completely, we're still waiting on a wave 5. To throw the pattern out completely would be if 4 came down and broke below 1, which I've shown before, but 1 is around 13,800 here, okay? We didn't get too close to that. We had a wick down here into this, how low did that wick go? Like 17,500, which was that the bottom? Could have been the bottom. Don't know. Definitely could have been. We'll wait and see. That would have been a crazy buying opportunity. That was when the market was in an absolute turmoil, 17.5. Could we go back there one more time in the near future? Sure. Possible. Which way do you want to bet it? We'll wait and see what happens. At any rate, nothing's been invalidated here on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely didn't come you didn't come too close to this. Definitely didn't go below it. And then for the extended flat, expanded flat. What the expanded flat is when you come up on wave 3, this correction in here, this ABC correction, A, B, C, wherever it goes, wherever it ends, that ABC is called an expanded flat because this B went higher than this point here, and the 4 went farther than the A here. And so that's how you get this expanding out shape, like a horn sort of shape, like an instrument horn that's widening at the mouth, okay? Whereas a running flat doesn't do that. A running flat, if it would have been a running flat, it would have been here, and it comes up and it corrects in this running flat, and then it continues to run up on wave 5. Didn't happen. Expanded flat, and the invalidation of the expanded flat, we talked about this in previous videos, why the expanded flat is definitely still on the table, and was never thrown out the window, because when we look at B, and we stretch it down and we set the 1 down on A, the 1618 is about the maximum that you can have for the expanded flat, and the 1618, 16,700. So you'd have to lose that, and then that would really call into question the expanded flat, that it was even an expanded flat, or what is going on. But that didn't happen. We went down to like 17.5. We didn't go to like 16.5, and we didn't lose it, especially like day after day. There wasn't even a quick flash to lose it. So technically, the expanded flat still on the table of complete fair game, that you come up. Like I said, this is kind of a recap video, nothing extremely new. I'll show you some new stuff in a second here, but you 1 come up to the 786, correct back down, 3 up to the 1618, just like the last cycle, exactly like the last cycle, correct back down, and then the last run would be towards the 2272, which is around $200,000 Bitcoin. So my targets still haven't changed. I know that might sound crazy to some people. That's fine. I'm sure, I believe that the run will head towards 2023, but the top won't happen until sometime in 2023, like spring. We'll wait and see on that. Historically, quarter 3 is not too great for Bitcoin, so we'll see if that plays out, but history doesn't always play out. I mean, it repeats itself a lot, but it doesn't always play out that way, and we've also just gone through massive market corrections with momentum to the downside here for a long time, momentum to the downside ever since November 2021. So lots of corrections, lots of flushing people out, a big reset basically, and now we're in that resetting zone. Are we starting to find, did we find that bottom at 17.5? Possible, we'll see, and it's a slow, steady climb up now, we'll see. This is good to see, really good to see here on the weekly stock RSI, and I talked about this starting about just a couple weeks ago. I was talking about this 2-3 weeks ago, and what I said was I kept measuring this, and I said like 42 days, like 42 days, 49 days, okay? You're at the bottom, you're at 0 on the stock RSI, which is a momentum indicator. So when you're at 0 on the stock RSI for a little while, eventually it will go back to the upside. Always, 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 and you can see it through the history. You can see it through the history forever of Bitcoin. When on the weekly stock RSI, you sit down there for 42 days, 49 days, etc. on 0, your momentum is back to the upside for weeks to come, and you're going to get some sort of pump with that. How big of a pump? I don't know. But you have the blue line moving up here, getting much ahead of the pink line, crossed over it, starting to move up. Now, do you want to bet that this is going to come down on one more peak and then go? And there's going to be another buying opportunity, another dip, and that the market in this right now is some sort of bull trap, and it's going to flatten out here at 17,000, 16,000, or go lower. Do you want to bet on that because of the world economy and all the markets as a whole have been pretty rough? Do you want to bet on that, or do you want to bet that this time will be like the other times when typically you're going to get some sort of run the weeks to come, even if it comes up, kind of zigzags down and then starts to move up? Which way do you want to bet it based on the markets as a whole and what's been going on with recession fears and just markets in general being in sort of turmoil over the last while? So which way do you want to bet it? Do you want to DCA in and buy this opportunity right here where we've been around 20,000? I've been buying, like I said, I kind of did get screwed over by Voyager. The only reason I was using Voyager is for a quick automatic withdrawal out of my bank account. When I buy anything on Voyager for the last months and months and months, when I buy anything on Voyager, I only buy the assets that are transferable, because a lot of them aren't. I think CKB and a lot of these other assets you can't transfer. So I would buy a Litecoin or Ethereum or whatever. I'd transfer it to KuCoin really quick. Just easier to purchase. You pay a little bit and some fees and whatever, but sometimes KuCoin gets complicated using a debit card, and your bank won't let the process go through, et cetera, et cetera. So I did get about $4,000 locked into Voyager, which isn't that big of a deal. Most of my stuff is in a wallet, and most of my stuff is in other. I have most of my crypto in other places. I didn't really trust Voyager too much because Voyager likes to shut down and freeze up anytime there's a bull run, and I didn't trust them for holding long term in the first place. And there was no warning. I wanted to buy my Litecoin, move it instantly, rotate it into some other stuff, Casper Curve, ADA XRP, all that good stuff I always talk about. That's just kind of how I was doing it. And I hadn't bought anything on Voyager or messed with Voyager since March, so it had been months. So like the exact day I bought, it was like a day or two later, it was just completely frozen. And I tried to transfer within hours of buying it before this Voyager fiasco, and it was a red flag. It was locked. It just said it couldn't be transferred, like it wasn't available. And that was a red flag. Then days later, then the Voyager news comes out. So it was a warning that I had no clue. But anyways, is what it is. Will we see momentum to the upside weeks for the next weeks ahead? Yes, very possible, because again, momentum indicator here. And then let me show you something really cool here. Let's go to the daily. Get out of this. Let's just go over here and let's turn on the VPVR. This is interesting here for us. Okay, so support and resistance, that's what this VPVR is. It's volume, but it's coming in from the side instead of volume bars from the bottom. Okay, so it's just kind of a bottom, so it's just kind of a different design. But anyways, this shows support and resistance, and that's what all these charts are about. That's all it's about: support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. Okay, so if we take a look here, this is here where we're trying to find that support, and we have sort of we're trying to break above this trend line here. We're trying to break above it right now and find support, but find support here on this shelf, which looks to be like low 22s, okay? And we're at 22 right now, so we'll see what happens with that. But my point is here is there's not much resistance all the way up to about $30,000. That's an $8,000 rise. The resistance starts here at the heavy resistance starts here at 29 and circles up to 32, so 29, 32. But my point is you find support at 22, 23, 24. You have the weekly stock RSI momentum I just showed you going for you. The market's been flushing for a long time. There's been a lot of just down, 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 down pressure. Eventually, it'll start to move to the upside. especially if the stock market starts to move and there's any movement, any change in direction from the Fed, and any good news for the economy. But anyways, my point is you can slice back up to this 29,000 rather easily, okay? Because like you all know, since November, we've basically had this, we just lose support, lose support, lose support. But if you look at since March, all that happens is you lost the EMAs, you lost support, you ran into the EMAs as resistance, the red line and the red and green ran into as resistance, dropped, created this bear flag, dropped, created this bear flag. Are you going to bet that it's going to do that again? I don't think that it will. I don't think that it will. I do see this 22,000. I believe here we could do this chop sideways for a little while, back to 20, fake outs, 19,000 again, up to 22. We'll see. Or will it find support on that 22 and cut up towards that 28.30? But then will people sell at that 28.30 and they'll correct back down a little bit? At any rate, we are waiting for that wave 5 like we've been waiting this whole time, okay? This whole time. I do want to look at the DXY real quick and then we're going to wrap this video up. But at any rate, the market is looking better than it was, We're still waiting on that wave 5. Let's look at the DXY really quick. It's Friday, 106.9. The thing's still running, and today, in the last couple of days, Bitcoin not as correlated with the DXY as usual. Typically, it's pretty dang close. Bitcoin looking okay right now at 22,000, up a little bit, yet the DXY is up a little bit. Usually that is not the case. Usually you can look at one and you know what's going on with the other, even day by day a lot of the time. So we'll see what happens with that, where this will go. Usually when the DXY does start some sort of correction or comes down, a lot of Bitcoin's runs, almost all of Bitcoin's major runs, are when the DXY is coming down. They're not both running at the same time. It just is what it is. Lay them over each other, and that's how it is. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Will Bitcoin, though, make that run? Will it find that support? Will it do a slow, steady climb that people don't see coming, and it starts to come up, and it starts that slow, steady climb, and then those amazing buying opportunities around that 20,000, 17,000. In hindsight, they look like the best time to ever buy, but the market messed with your head psychologically, and you didn't buy as much as you wanted. It sucks that, honestly, I'm probably going to spend that money again that I had that's now stuck in Voyager. I'll just spend that 4,000 again, and I'm gonna buy Casper, Curve, some XLM probably, maybe a little bit of XRP, a little bit of CKB, stuff like that. I'm going to buy a little bit more and see what happens with that. I could also buy around 20,000 if we head back to 20,000, but I like to grab more in this area. This is paying attention during major corrections and major downturns. You can call it a bear market, you can call it a bull market, you can call it both. When you zoom out to this level that I've always shown you on my drawing, it's not a bear market because look at this trajectory, okay? That is not a bear market, okay, when you zoom out that much. Here's the bear market, okay? And once you start to capitulate down, you don't come down and then make some sort of higher high. Again, with this here, once you start to come down, then you made a higher high than here, okay? So that's where the bear market, that's where it's not a bear market. That would be like if this started to roll down and then you came up and made another high, and then you came down and found some support in this range and then started to come back up, or just find support in general. Instead, you go all the way down to here, which is around $3,000 Bitcoin, where people were pronouncing it dead. So keep that in mind. At this level where we're zoomed out, this is more of a macro channel. This isn't the channel where I turn on the 1 hourly time frame and tell you where to leverage up or down. By the way, like and subscribe. Smash hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet if you want more stuff like this. But my point is, this isn't a channel where I'm showing you the hourly and I'm showing you when to leverage, stop losses, when to get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out, and try to make, money day trading. We're looking at a more zoomed out level of this next run and when to buy in. Yes, I will admit, yes, for sure, losing these support levels at 28, 29, and even 38 back before wave 5, unexpected. We did lose more support than I thought, came lower than I thought, but I showed you the invalidations earlier. That definitely not invalidated. And the expanded flat here, wave 4, definitely not invalidated on this A, B, C. So it is what it is. Still waited out, still have this as targets. Will it take longer than expected because the market cap is so much larger here than it was here, than it was here, obviously. The market being about 6 times Bitcoin and the market being about 6 times larger than it was. Not necessarily mean it's going to move 6 times slower, but it takes more money to move it up and down, and it doesn't move as fast or as explosively. Obviously, if you look back to the start of Bitcoin, it can move way more explosively, way faster when the market's way smaller, and you get that FOMO, and that's what moves the market between the FOMO, and then also there could be some sort of short squeeze out of here where people have to cover their shorts. Everybody thinks shorts, oh, it's going to go back to 17,000, 15,000, etc., and it starts to move up on that short squeeze. You get a little bit of FOMO, and you start to move towards that 29,000. At any rate, there's not much resistance up until that 29,000 between where we're at now and that 29, 30,000, but we have to find that support first to move up to it. So that's my take today on the market. Leave a comment below. Got this video done pretty quick, and I'll get it out to you guys now. We'll catch you in the next video. See ya.